Crystal Bridge Academy. We are located in Gurei, that's Juba, South Sudan. And it's a secondary school where we are going to interact and learn much about science. For today, we are going to look at science, and my name is Teacher Moses. For today, I'm going to take you through chemistry. It could be your first time to hear about chemistry, but this is science. In primary education, you looked about science, and chemistry is science, is one of the branch of science that we are going to cover in this level. So the point is, what is chemistry? Okay. We are saying chemistry is science, but what does it mean? You have always been practicing chemistry at home, and you must have seen things, but unknowingly you could not tell that this is the science of chemistry taking place. For example, when you burn a piece of paper, when you look at paper, you can say is an object. When you look at a pen, a piece of chalk, or a book, you may say, in English we call it an object. But in the language of science, we cannot call that object. The best word to use is matter. So when we look at the paper, for example, when we burn the paper, what happens? You will see flame, and at the end of the day, the paper turns to ash. Otherwise, because of the condition of heat or burning, the paper has changed to ash. 2, you know butter. You have always, you must have melted butter. Okay? But butter will not melt without heat. Okay? So, when you put butter in a saucepan and apply heat, because of the condition of the heat, the butter is going to turn to liquid. You get the point? So, the point behind is, when we talk about matter, matter tend to change to different states. For example, the previous one, solid, has changed to liquid, but under certain conditions. So that is, in brief, where the knowledge of chemistry lies. We are going to study about matter and the different changes that these states of matter changes to another. So the different conditions under which the states of matter changes to different state. So, by definition, if we are to define chemistry at this point, you can briefly say chemistry is the study of matter and the changes it undergoes under different conditions. For example, as I mentioned, a piece of paper, the condition is heat, or when you heat it, it will change to ash. Or you can still say chemistry is the branch of science that deals with composition, structure, properties, and reaction that matters undergo. So, let's look at this one. Composition. What does it mean? Composition simply means what makes up something. So when we talk about the chalk, for example, or the paper is made of something that you may not be able to see. There are particles that make up the paper, and it has a particular structure. Okay? So you can briefly say chemistry is the branch of science that deals with this, with the study of composition, structure, properties, and reactions of matter. Or you can simply say is the study of matter and the changes it undergoes under the different conditions. Therefore, okay. By the end of this presentation or this session, you will be able to define what chemistry is, identify where chemistry has been been applicable or is applicable in our daily life. And we shall look at a new term called laboratory, but that will come later on. So, how important is chemistry? Today I have introduced chemistry. Is it important for us? Or is it important for you? Okay? Does it add something to the economic development of our country? There must be core reasons as to why you are learning the subject. Okay? So take an example. I mentioned about at home you have always used soap to clean materials, washing and so on. You have always cooked food using cooking oil. Okay? Maybe you have seen people around making bread and cakes. All that is science, and that is where chemistry is applied or is applicable in your daily life. Therefore, in brief, chemistry is used in a number of fields. For example, chemistry is applied in agriculture. Chemistry is used in manufacturing industries, like industries that manufacture clothes, what we call textile industries. Chemistry is also applied in the extraction of natural resources. For example, extraction of petroleum, natural resources like gold, and so on. Also, in the field of medicine, still we find chemistry applicable. Therefore, in brief, chemistry helps us to understand properties of different substances such that we can handle them safely. Take an example. Petrol. Petrol is a good resource, but when mishandled, may lead to accident. So the knowledge of chemistry will enable you to understand various properties of different substances such that we can handle them very well. Because some substances are very poisonous to life. So we must learn how to handle them. Therefore, the knowledge of chemistry helps us to understand the different properties of substances for safe handling. Number two, chemistry is used in the extraction of natural resources like oil, gold, and copper. Okay? So, as I mentioned, chemistry is applied in various fields. So we are now saying our natural resources in South Sudan, like petroleum, okay, like gold, the resources we have like platinum, they are extracted and purified using the knowledge of chemistry. Thirdly, chemistry at the end of the day provide us with employment opportunities. So for example, right now, I'm teaching you chemistry because I learned the knowledge and I'm now employed. At the end of the day, I'll earn a living, I'll be able to improve on my standard. So the field or the subject of chemistry will provide us with employment opportunities and so on. Still, the knowledge of chemistry, it provides us with skills for manufacturing food. For example, making bread, cakes, chapati. The skills or the knowledge there, that is basically chemistry. Chemistry is also used in the manufacture of in manufacturing industries. For example, in the manufacture of plastics like bags, plastics like cans, cup for human use. Chemistry, as I mentioned, is a science subject, and being a science subject, it's a practical subject. Okay. When the word practical means learning something by hands-on experience. Okay, you can touch, you can feel. Actually, you have the matter at hand that you're going to study. So normally, chemistry is practical in that way, and because it is practical, we study it in special room, in a special building, which we call laboratory. I believe laboratory is not a new word, okay? You might have fallen sick at one time, or somebody related to you might have fallen sick and you're taken to a hospital, a health facility, or a clinic for medication. But when you reach there, there is a room that you will be taken to, okay? In this room, this is where particular tests are going to be carried out to identify what actually you're suffering from. And that room is very special. Not everybody gets into the room, okay? So that room is what we call laboratory. However, it's not the one that we are going to be using it for chemistry. The other one is a medical laboratory. Then we also have science or school laboratory here, which soon we shall get into. So the point is, what is the laboratory? Okay? Why is it special? Or what makes it special that is important? So let's flash back to the laboratory of the clinic. When you get to the clinic laboratory, there are instructions that you're going to be doing. For example, you may be told to put on a mask. Okay? The attendant will tell you, don't come in with food. Okay? Or will say, please, let one or two people come in. Meaning, not everybody has to get into the laboratory. Okay? So, laboratory is a special room in such a way that normally there are some substances kept in the laboratory. And these substances may be poisonous or harmful to life. This is why you need people in the laboratory always in protective clothing like lab coats or aprons. Okay? They are protecting themselves from the poisonous or dangerous effects of these substances. Let's come back to our science laboratory at school here at Western Bridge. Okay? So, in our laboratory, one, we are going to, the tools that we use for learning are kept in the laboratory. Secondly, we study in the laboratory also, okay? And if we are to do practical activities, which we call experiments, they are performed in the laboratory. So in brief, laboratory is a special room where where chemical substances and apparatus are kept and learning is carried out through experimentation. Therefore, you can define laboratory as a specialized workplace designed for scientific experiment, analysis, and research. Okay? Just like the health laboratory or the laboratory in the clinic, there are a number of tools that are kept there. You find scissor, you can find bandage, the first aid kit, there are a number of tools there. Similarly, our chemistry laboratory has got a number of equipments that are kept there. Okay? And the tools or the equipments that are kept in the science laboratory, they are what we call apparatus. Otherwise, you might be surprised to see that word, laboratory apparatus. Apparatus simply refer to the tool or the equipment that is kept in the laboratory for scientific studies. So, a sample of apparatus that are kept in the laboratory may include: one is a Bunsen burner, which we are going to look at. We have spatula, filter funnels, We have got a thermometer. I think that one you've ever seen one. We have a microscope, which we are about to see. They are measuring cylinders, conical flasks, and so on. There are very many. We cannot exhaust them all. So whatever you're seeing there, those are the sample, or they are the examples of laboratory apparatus. They have got various uses. Okay? For example, the burette. The burette is used for measuring and dispensing precise volumes of solutions, okay, or liquids. If you want to measure a particular volume of liquid, you can use the burette because it is gradual or it is marked. So you can exactly measure the volume of liquid that you need to use. We have got a thermometer, which measures temperature. There is a pH meter. That one will tell that the solution is acidic or alkaline. Where we are going to look at acids and alkalines. Let's leave that there. We have a weighing scale, okay, or a balance, and this is used for measuring chemical substances.